Hello. So today I'm just getting on because it's been a long time since I've been on, and I wrote out some things to talk about, but I'm like, okay, I'm always trying to find what fits into my lifestyle at the time, or what I can be more um, productive at without going out of my way to make it productive until I can handle those things. So this morning or this afternoon, I'm here working, and this is a new establishment, a new business that I am working in, and it's something that my cousin and I are building together. So I figure while I'm down here working on the business, because we have certain days that we're open right now, and on the days that we're not open, I try to come down here and do a lot of administrative things and marketing and whatnot. So I just figured I'll do work with me videos while I'm down here. I have like some tasks written out that I want to get done while I'm here today. And on the title of the video, you probably seen that I'm using the Pomodoro Method. If you never heard of the Pomodoro Method, it's where you can create a time limit of how much you'll work, and then you'll take a break in between that specific time. So I'll probably start at completing a task. Well, not complete. I want to complete a task that I have written down today. There's one major task. So just knowing me, how I can go back and forth and get distracted, I'm gonna set this timer to 15 minutes initially with, let me see, a short break of 5 minutes. So you know what? It's already on 25 minutes. So I'm gonna start my task for 25 minutes, and then it has a short break of 5 minutes. I'm working on my attention span to, actually sit here and get things done. So let me turn it around and show you the shop. And what we do here, or what this business setup is an IV hydration center. And that's all I say about that. But yeah, so we're working on building this business. It's been going well so far, as far as the clientele that we've been receiving, but we just want to rev it up. So I'm not going to say much. I do have some things written out that I'll probably, talk about, but this is just a work with me video. So I'll be sitting here completing these tasks, and let's get started. If you have any questions or anything, please feel free to leave them in the chat. I may not get to them right now, but I'll get to them. Oh, so I'm going to start my timer. So I'm starting at 25 minutes. That's how long I'm working right now. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm working on sending out a blast email to our customers, asking for reviews. So, like, I like to be effective because I do love to write. So when I'm writing copy, I do a little research to make sure that, as I'm sending the email out, that there's something great in the subject line to catch the customer's attention, and that I'm wording the email correctly in order to get our need met, which is, in this email, is to get a Google review for our business, because that is how we get a lot of our business. So I think I found one that I like, and we could test it out too, you could see the response we could see the response that we received back um, within a certain amount of time, and then we could try another one. So, 27 seconds left on this round. Okay, so that is my first bell. Now I'm on a 5-minute break, and that little spurt wasn't bad. So um, I was able to get things done in process to creating the email. So now I'm actually creating the email. I found the subject line that I wanted to put in. I found the links that I needed to put in for the review. I found the email template that I actually want to use to send out. And I started actually typing the email. So after the break, I'll finish up typing the email, and then the next step will be to get it uploaded into the system that we use to blast out emails. And I don't have the next step, so um, I guess it will be to send it out. But I'll see, because this is the first time that I'm actually using the system. So I'm learning the process along the way. The system that we actually use to book clients and run our business out of. So before we start our 5-minute break, the subject that I wrote out last week to talk about was sort of like a topic of, you know, how we're always shifting blame on someone else. And sometimes we can, you know, equate the problems that we have or the things that we're going through to maybe an entity, another person, or some type of factor that we think played a big role in, you know, our current situation. And although that is somewhat true, you know, because outside situations does affect our own situation sometimes, but the question is, does it really affect us? Can anyone do anything that is really going to affect us, whether it's by a preventative measure, or either, you know, taking control of the situation even after something happens. So the subject that I have written out is, you know, you have to get out of your head. Like, sometimes I find myself thinking a lot more than I am feeling. And in your head, if you're in your head all the time, you can talk yourself out of things and you can talk yourself into things. But you have to ask yourself, like, you know, like, what am I really feeling? Do I feel like doing this, or do I not feel like doing this? How does it line up with my spirit? How does it feel when I actually think about doing it? Am I dreading doing it or whatnot? So I just wanted to remind you that you have to get out of a headspace of doubt and overwhelm and disbelief, and the opponent is within you, not without. So the opponent, or whatever you're facing that is stopping you, or you think is stopping you from reaching your goals, or getting what you want or need out of life, is not an outside source, like I said, or it's not an entity or anything. It's actually within you, because if anything, you have the power to put your mind towards anything that you want to do. You know, it's a perfect example of just starting a new business. You know, we have our goals that we want to hit. We actually wrote out goals, but we have our goals that we want to hit. And we know that in order to hit those goals, it's going to take a certain amount of time, effort, and focus to do those things in order to hit the goal. Now, in a world of creating, you know, it's not like I can go somewhere and a check is handed to me, or you know, just written out weekly, bi-weekly, or on a monthly status. I have to come here and create my income. So that within itself could be a battle of this mind. Like, you know, I've been through the point of telling myself, like, you know, how is this going to work out? You know, when is it going to work out? Like, man, I really got to put in work to, you know, see those seeds and efforts come back. But thinking that it can't happen is all in my mind. So I have to, you know, find ways and means of, you know, motivating myself and pushing myself outside of my mind to actually accomplish these things. And it's very well is doable. Because our mind tends to focus on memory and problems more than solutions and having an optimistic attitude. But memories, we know, are in the past. So you can't hold yourself to anything that you've been through, anything that hasn't worked out before. You have to begin to tell yourself a new story. And that new story has to be what you want to see for yourself. what you want to see for yourself now in the present moment and moving forward. Um, so I see for myself this business thriving, as well as the other things that I have going on, and personal things that I have going on. I see my children, my family thriving. I see myself thriving. I see the business thriving. I see, everything around me thriving. So you have to know what you want, and you have to, as somebody, tells me, you have to pick a side, and, make sure that you're staying on that path or whatnot. And then that's choosing it in your mind to be of a sound mind. In the Bible it says that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. So you can't be unstable in your thinking, like, I want this, and but I can't have it. Like, those two things don't go together, because the I can't have it is going to overcome, the I can. So, because it's always going to be a battle in your mind. But when you think straightforward and you have your mind made up on what you want and what you want to accomplish, and you do the action, the faith without works is dead, we know. So if you do those actions to get there, and you keep your mind stayed on that, you're going to get it. And it's inevitable. You're going to get it. So just keeping your mind with that one track and believing that you can do it. So I had an example of, I remember it was a few years back. And when we think of a few years back, it's like 5 years now, because time goes by so fast. But there was Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Garnett in a game, and we know that basketball players, they sometimes, like, they talk a lot of junk to get into their opponents' minds. You've seen it with, Michael Jordan and opponents, and Kobe and his opponents. But in this particular instance, it was Carmelo Anthony and Kevin Garnett, and I believe Kevin Garnett had, like, said something about Carmelo Anthony's wife, Lala, like, she tastes like Cheerios, to knock him off of his game in the middle of the game. And those things is what our opponent, tries to say to us, like, you can't do it, based on da 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 da, this happened 6 months ago and it didn't work out, or whatever that story is in your mind that is telling you that you can't do it. You have to knock that opponent out and learn to, stay mentally focused and set on the goal that you want, because there's going to always be something that's going to tell you or interfere with you in your thinking and your goals. But the great thing about it is that this may seem hard at first to do, but the more you actually do it, the easier it gets. So stay of that one track minds. All good things belong to you. Remember that all good things belong to you. We tell ourselves a story that, sometimes we may feel like we're undeserving because we've been through certain things, or we have experienced certain things, or, you used to do this, you used to do that. But that's the blessing in even it. You can tell yourself a new story that all good things belong to you. And as long as you're making amends to do better than the mistakes that you made of the past, you're always on the right track, and it's never too late. So you have to remember to do the opposite of whatever you've been bred, trained, or whatever to do. Anything that is going to make you feel good and make you feel accomplished is the thing that you should be doing. So you have to do the opposite of what you've been programmed to do all these years, because in doing the opposite is where your blessing is. And this is the opponent's job to make you give up. So we're our own worst enemies. And I know, that may sound cliche, but it's the truth. We're our own worst enemies. And, if we beat ourselves up, then nobody else has to do it. It's just like a bully. A bully may see you and pick on you for a particular thing, but that is probably more than likely the thing that the bully actually admires in you and hates that they don't have in their in themselves. And so they actually bully you because it makes them feel better about themselves. So that's the same way our opposite mind works with, our higher self. And our higher mind is the opposite, will the opponent in our minds will bully us into thinking that, um, you can't have or do something because that's this job. It's like the angel and the devil on opposite side of your shoulders. You have to be more in tune with that voice that's going to pull you to your higher self. Self-doubt, anything that has you doubting yourself or just not believing in yourself that you can actually accomplish a particular thing, is your opponent and enemy. So it's easy to recognize that and to say, you know what, I have to do the opposite of this, because if you're striving or wanting to achieve anything, your blessings are in doing the opposite of what you've been doing. So go harder for what you want, and just remember that as long as you are putting an effort out to do the things that you want to do consistently, you're already winning. It's just, you may not see the material gain or the what you want to see, but as long as you're on that track, you're winning, because everything is coming towards you or for you. You're actually going towards it, and it's all going to work out in your favor. So that's my little talk today about just tuning that voice out of your head, because that's your enemy, not other people, not other things. That's your enemy. And no matter any situation that you're in or have gotten into or coming out of, it has something to do with that voice. Because the voice, you should always follow it in your head, what your higher self is telling you to do. So I'm gonna start my stopwatch back because I didn't fully take my break. And after my 5 minutes is up, I'm gonna get started back on my email. So one of the things that I like to do is listen to lofi beats or jazz or anything when I actually am working. always just play these as I finish. And I have 2 minutes left, but I'll go ahead and get started. So. So that's my break clock. Means it's over. 30-second break. And I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. And I thank you, and I hope that you work with me to accomplishing all of your goals, and you stay focused. You keep that opponent out of your head, and you practice, hearing that voice that you really want to follow to accomplish the things that you really want to accomplish. And I will see you the next time.